I'm sitting here listening to what's happening right now. I don't really spend too much time on Twitter other than talking to Grok. Because I can't interact. I have a 30-day ban. I don't want to repeat what I said because it was against their standards, and I'm pretty sure that YouTube would do the same. Probably. I just got a strike removed. I accidentally tried to upload a video. It was an old video that didn't upload, and they said it was something about, it was violence. It was just basically these guys' store was getting robbed, and they took matters into their own hands. So I got the strike removed. On TikTok, I was in the comments, and I basically got a strike because I called a girl obese. A lot of my comments get removed off of there. It's just pretty much pointless. I see like people on there like threatening people, threatening violence, yet theirs stay up there. And it's just, I look at TikTok as something as, it's a joke. It's a joke. I look at all these social media platforms as basically a joke. They're for babies. You can't say, you can't tell it how it is. There's like, where's our adult spaces? Can we have adult spaces? I mean, that's what this is supposed to be, an adult space. I want to talk about adult ideas. I guess the only place that I've seen that is an adult space, it would be like a Rumble or BitChute or Gab or something like that. But, you know, nobody goes there. So it's kind of pointless to even do all that. And, you know, so I'm on my Facebook, right? And I barely see anything my friends are doing in my news feed. It's like wall to wall. Every time I refresh, it's just that woman that got shot by that got killed by the ICE agent. Just paid propaganda. I go on to, like, I start clicking on to the actual pages, and I'm looking at like the recent posts, and I'm seeing like there's hardly anybody saying anything on here. Yet the post that is showing up on my newsfeeds has like thousands of comments, and I'm just like, I am correct that people are just paying to pay to play, and I don't do that. I don't get paid. I was getting paid by Twitter for a little while, but I don't get paid by them anymore. I don't get paid by YouTube. I'm not doing this for popularity. I don't grow. I haven't had any growth on any social media platform that I'm on. Perhaps I'm just a nobody, and I just have 1,500 subscribers for no reason. I have 13,000 followers on Twitter for no reason. And the reason why I say all this is because they don't like truth tellers. And I try to tell the truth. When I say try, is sometimes I get things wrong because there's so much propaganda out there, and I have to be like a judge. People putting out fake information, and of course I'm going to, you know, there's like no really any non-biased type of stuff out here. I'm not trying to, I want to tell the truth, and this is what I think happened with that woman. I made a video, probably my last video was talking about it. And that was like, it was all reaction. just found out, it just happened, it was complete reaction. Well, we have different information, and then I don't know if I'm even getting the correct information. It's like when I hear, basically, when I'm starting to hear some things line up for both sides, and I'm like, that's probably the truth. Okay, when I'm starting to hear like one side say something, and it kind of like they kind of acknowledge on the other side, at least. This is how, this is so ridiculous how we have to do this. It's like we have to spend all this time trying to figure out who's manipulating us, who's saying what they have to say to get famous, to push their agenda. All the stuff that's happening in the world right now, when you have Venezuela, we just took their president like last week. Everyone's up in arms about that, but now we have our next George Floyd, apparently. So what I think is that she didn't intend to hit him. She didn't intend to cause harm. She tried to escape. So I don't think that she tried to run him over, because even if she noticed he brandished the gun, it happened so quick. And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna turn the wheel." No, I don't think that. I just think that like she spun out and she was trying to get out of there as quick as possible, and she didn't turn the wheel as quick as she wanted, and she screwed up by not listening to law enforcement. Yeah, they're not a cop, whatever. They're authority. They carry guns. When people carry guns, even if they're law enforcement or they're bad guy, like, I'm going to try to avoid that. I'm going to try to avoid those situations as much as possible. Well, this woman was blocking traffic. Her wife, whatever, was antagonizing, walking around, the ICE agent, antagonizing him, talking smack, and even later on she said it was her fault, she shouldn't have brought her out there, whatever, something along those lines. But this woman has 3 kids. Now, I don't know if this is propaganda, so do your own research. Apparently, she has 3 kids. I've heard this on both sides. That's why I think it's true. She's got 3 kids. 2 of them are taken away. Okay? And one, she has the 6-year-old son that the father died like 3 years ago. Well, me personally, I like that Trump's in office right now. I'm skeptical of what he's doing. What are we doing with Iran right now? But these protests are paid. I like, how are these people able to have the free time to organically just drop what they're doing? They're raising a family. Do they not have kids? Do they not have a job? How are these people able to protest as much as they've been protesting basically since Trump got in office in 2016? I just don't understand it. Anyway, I never went to a Trump rally, and I was like a huge supporter. Like, I was toting the MAGA flag. And I still support the good things that Trump does for our country. Shutting down the border, getting these illegals the hell out of our country, going after the Somalians who committed, who's stealing from us. It really pisses me off to know that these people aren't working. Some of them anyway aren't working, and they're driving around rich while I'm working my butt off, stealing from us. I want harsh examples made out of people. That's what I want. Harsh examples. First, we go through the justice system, but I want harsh examples made out of people to prevent future endeavors by these or other people that would think that they want to do the same type of deal. I think that we've been ripped off. I think that we've been stolen from. I think that everyone has just been, pillaging America like we're the Titanic. On the way down, everyone's just trying to get a piece. And we're over here doing the right things, staying out of trouble. And then nothing is being done. There's all types of propaganda being put out here. And the ICE agent, when I say she didn't, I don't think she meant to do it. However, he doesn't know that in that time. And I'm seeing all of these people who make money by talking in front of a camera, telling other people like how they should be a law enforcement or what they should have done in that split second. I don't think that these people understand reality and how fast things happen. Because if they did, they would probably do something similar or possibly even worse. So for me to sit here and basically, two things can be right at the same time. She didn't mean to do it, and he didn't know she didn't mean to do it. His perception was, this car's coming at me, I'm pulling out my gun, and I'm going to stop her from ramming into me. We told her to, get the fuck out of the car, stop and get the fuck out of the car, and she chose to run. You don't do this. If you have to deal with law enforcement in any type of manner, you do as they say. You don't try to escalate. Listen, man, if you want to sit out here and play with your life, that's on you, okay? If you want to sit here and try to have some type of don't want to cooperate when the cops try to talk to you and question you, they just want to know what's going on. You don't want to cooperate? That's cool. You don't have to. But if you're acting out, not listening, they have to do their job. Like, we have law and order. What's happening is we have a lot of people who have never been told no. It's a lot of people on the left. It's funny because, I don't know if this is true. I don't know what the hell is real anymore with AI. But I did see pictures. It did look real where they basically set up a barricade around where she died or something like that in Minnesota. And it's kind of weird how these same people who are fighting against our borders create borders. I've seen this with Chaz or Chop. They talk about they want open borders, but then they create borders, And it's like, dude, am I cool to come in your house anytime I want? Take whatever I want? Are you fine with that? No. So these people are the biggest hypocrites. They don't have any type of forward thinking. They don't have any type of logic whatsoever. They're just like, oh, compassion. And it's like, there is such a thing as having too much compassion. Now, when I say that, I say, when you have too much compassion, when you give everything you can that you have at a detriment to your own self or your own family, that's too much compassion. Because then how are you going to help anybody? You're just you know what I mean? So I'm always going to do self-preservation first. So if I'm on a plane, I'm going to secure my mask first, and then I will help other people. How am I going to help other people first while I can't breathe? Do you know what I mean? So it's just they don't think, they don't live in reality. Now, it's crazy how many people are already in the conscious pods. The cell phones are really, really contributing to this, and I think programming people. But And I can't wait for the conscious pods, to be honest. But we're not there. The technology isn't there yet. So I live in reality. I'm forced to live in reality. I have to pay bills. I don't have anything handed to me. I have to fight and scrape for everything I get, like I've always had to do. And it doesn't look like anything's going to change anytime soon for me. I'm not trying to get rich. I don't even want to be rich. I think it's kind of weird to sit here and be like extremely wealthy while other people are suffering. Especially people that work hard and they don't get anywhere. It's like, can't we all just like it just seems like they're just extracting and not investing anything back into the environment that they're extracting from with rich people. But there's other countries that are, and I believe, paying for these protests. Now, a couple of them are probably Russia and China. Because they want to cause division. Well, I think that we are getting to the point of no return with our country. When you have Philadelphia law, I don't know, what are they called? Basically saying they're going to arrest ICE agents. Good luck with that. I guess you're going to fight the military. You know, and you have Tim Walz saying he's going to call it the National Guard. Like, okay. I think what's next is you're going to start seeing these states secede. You will see these blue states secede. And we should let them. We should let them. And however, you're not going to take all the land. That's the thing. We're going to take the farmland. Because the people who run those farmlands, you don't support. You're not going to keep the state lines are going to be withdrawn. You're basically just going to be cities on the side of the ocean, and you're going to have to import all of your food, which you already have to do, but you're not going to get it from the farmers anymore, unless it's a ton of money. Like what they don't have, they're not going to replace anything. We're not going to have a societal collapse. These states cannot sustain themselves without us printing out money. So they can't keep, like, what is it, San Diego, or was it, I don't know, one of these California cities, $5 million in reparations. Good luck with that. You're not going to keep taking federal funds and spending it on stupid crap like that. But they're not going to win. They're not thinking long term at all. I can live without this. We can live without social media. We don't need social media. So if that's what they want to do in California, like, oh, we can't have social. Okay, fine. We don't have social media no more. Well, I can eat because, like, I live in farm area. How about you? Who's gonna last longer? And it's sad that people aren't really thinking like this. And like California, like, you rely on the Colorado River. Where does that go through? It goes through. Does it go through Arizona? Doesn't it? It's like red state. So. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. Tim Walz, you're gonna try to bring out the National Guard like it's gonna do something. Go ahead. You're gonna jump on California. You want to go ahead? Go ahead. Washington, like, you guys are weak compared to us. Russia's upset because they don't want to negotiate, apparently. That war, Ukraine-Russian war, should already be over. It's not that difficult. Like, hey, we'll give up some land, and then, like, here, you can have resources. We're going to help you out. Like, we can work together. One hand washes the other hand. But it's probably going to keep escalating. Now, a lot of this is being pushed by the media and the mainstream media. Obviously, social media. The cities, those are places I wouldn't want to be in. I'm really glad that I live where I live. In a small, dinky town. It's awesome. Would I rather live in a city? Am I more made to live in a city? Yeah, but the way the cities are ran, I don't want to live there. I want to live in a nice, safe community that respects our laws. You know what and it's just like, it's so weird when the left sits here and it's like, technically you can't do this because of Congress, and then it's like, dude, you just got done breaking this law, this law, and then all of a sudden now you're for laws. Dude, this is why I want a dictator, basically. I want an emperor. And I guess we can have Trump declare martial law if you guys want to secede, and then, you know, we can go out and have our thing. You can just like, I hope that doesn't happen. I don't like violence. I think that people should stay the hell out of it as much as possible. I'm not going to get involved with it, and I'm not telling anybody else to get involved with it, but there will be skirmishes. And these protesters, like, hey, listen, at some point, they're going to use live rounds on you because you're going, like, I would think I'm seeing these people threaten violence. They're saying arm up. They're threatening. They think this is a video game. It's not. Like, we don't want a civil war. We don't want any of that. It's just like they don't want to compromise. They're defending people breaking the law and stealing from our society. And it's like Maduro, he wasn't even recognized. The only people who recognized him as president was China and Russia. Even Joe Biden didn't. So, like, he wasn't technically even the president because he lost in 2018 and 2020. So, what are you doing? And then the same people were doing, like, the No Kings protest, like, Trump's a dictator, but you're literally defending a dictator. So, whatever they say they don't believe in, all they want to do is destroy our country and usher in communism. That's all they want to do. Do I think that it is unfair the way our system is set up for the poor? We're predicted to have another K-shaped recovery. Oh, that's fantastic. The rich people get more money, and then the poor people get more. We really can't sustain this. So it's kind of like, hey, rich people, like, can you read the room? Do you want to continue to move forward? Do you want to continue to be able to make money? Because you're not going to be able to extract anything pretty soon if you don't start investing back to lower the prices for us. You can't just keep taking record profits all the time. You got to, like, read the room and be like, hey, maybe we should make things a little bit more cost efficient. I use this analogy, the movie theaters, and it's just like the movie theaters are going to be gone, and there's no supply and demand in that. And when you look at the movie theaters, what do you see? A garbage product. Nobody's going to the movie theaters. I mean, okay, yes, people are going, but not like they used to be. I haven't been to the movie theaters in like 5-6 years, to be honest. They're raising the prices when nobody's showing like that. That's not about supply and demand. You're not putting a good product out, and you're raising the prices, and it's just like you're done. You're done. So the principles of supply and demand doesn't work there. It's a failing business, and and it seems like you're seeing this with a lot of things. You know, like, why do you have the prices so high still? Joe Biden was drill babying drill secretly The last 2 years of his presidency, basically. I didn't know that. So is Trump. But, gas prices are down, but why aren't they way down? Why aren't we creating a huge supply? Because it makes me think that this is on purpose. It is purposely, we're purposely keeping the supply like they are to get max profits. And we're done. We can't do it. And people will lose it. Dude, my frustration is with there because, I can't even afford health insurance. And I make okay money, I think, from where I live. $21.80 an hour, I should be able to afford health insurance. But I can't afford another $600 to $700 bill a month for health insurance that don't pay for anything. I have to have a high if I have even if I go with the low deductible, it's like $5,000, dude. What am I paying for? 600. It's just it's all messed up. Everything is so messed up right now. And I blame the government first because they're the ones that cause all the problems. I'm firmly on ISIS side because I want these illegals out of here. I want people who have been committing fraud out of here. And it's just what are you doing? Just raise your family, take care of you're an activist, and either way we're gonna go conservative. You're not gonna win. You communists are not gonna win. We're not gonna bring in communism. I am for collectivism if the robots are doing all the jobs. But if you rely on human labor and then want to take from, that's basically slavery. What it feels like right now feels like slavery. So I'm not one of these people who are just going to be oh, I'm going to defend capitalism because of No. Because it's not set up how capitalism should be set up. I think capitalism serves best and works best when you have a ton of different small companies fighting against each other to put out the best products and services. But it's quite clear that they don't want to put out the best product and services anymore. Look at Madden. Madden puts the same game out every year. You look at Call of Duty, the same type of deal. Movies, it's the same thing over and over again. Music, it's the same thing over and over. It's all the same stuff. National Basketball League, nobody cares about the regular season, and these people make so much money they don't even play. That's why people don't care. They don't put out the best product and services. Is Trump, what he's doing, going to fix everything? I don't know. Is it going to make it worse? I don't know. But what I do know is if we kept on going down the same path, economically, what we were doing, eventually we would have a financial collapse. Everything that I've learned from economics and everything like that, I'm not an economic expert, but I think I know a little bit more about economics than the average person. Not that they can't learn it themselves. It's just they haven't been paying attention. It's boring. Yes, it's boring. And I've pretty much done it out of somewhat curiosity. The name Enslaved Ones came from economic slavery, feeling like at the time. That's what I came up with. So I don't know what's going to happen, but all I know is it is hard to trust anything you see on the internet. And everything you see on social media, it doesn't matter who is the influencer. Not everything. You can tell the real people from the fake people. You can tell I'm authentic and I'm real. I would hope so. I don't post here every day. You look at my views. People laughed at me because I got all these followers or whatever, and nobody interacts or sees my stuff. I have something to do with that. I control the algorithm. I feel very proud about what I have created on my own, 100%, no support, not been bought out, not been sold out. I'm not peddling any type of products. I'm not selling anything. I'm just trying to get to the truth. That is it. We will continue to move forward even if we do go into a civil war and it turns kinetic. We will continue to go to work. It's not going to stop. And it's crazy if we have to stop working and deal with these people. If we have to stop living our lives and deal with these people, these communists, it's not going to end well. If we have to stop our lives because they think they're going to go ahead and bring communism here in America, which they're doing in New York, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't understand why Nazis are viewed as like the biggest villains. I understand like how they, like the lethalness, how they did it. Well, so did the communists. Okay, the communists were no better. So why is it okay to be communist nowadays, but you can't be a Nazi? It's like, and I'm not defending the Nazis at all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the communists were no better than the Nazis. If you go and look at how these gulags were, what people went through in the gulags, it was far worse than the death camps in with the Nazis. If I had to choose, given a choice, knowing which is which, I'm going to choose the death camp because I'm going to die quick. I'd rather die by the gas than sitting here being antagonized, worked to death, made to, like what they used to do in some of these gulags is, I don't know, 5 kilometers. They would march these people like 5 kilometers in the snow with barely any type of nutrition. They barely fed them to work 10 hours back. Then they would go back and barely get any sleep, if that. Some of them they had to go out in like negative 43 degrees right in the morning, and they had to stand out for hours. You would see people like freeze to death right beside you. They were barbaric. They were not good people. And they would send you to the gulag even if your family members was doing something, and then you have to go too. So if your family member said something bad about, or even not even bad, just like questioned, you would get sent there too. That's how disgusting these things were. Now, I'm not saying that the Nazis were great. I'm not saying that. Oh, you're a Nazi. No, I'm not. I'm just saying that they were at least equally as tyrannical, equally as brutal, people starve to death. People turn to cannibalism. They turn to cannibalism. There's an island where people turn to cannibalism. So the fact that they think that communism is going to work, it won't work. It just won't work. It hasn't ever worked. How is North Korea right now? How is Venezuela? How is Cuba? Why does everyone want to get from those countries and come here? Why? They don't want to come here. If this place turned communism, I guarantee you nobody would want to come here anymore. I am again, even though people, you sound like you're a socialist or kind of like, no, I like to question things because I look at things like, okay, this is something I thought up. How do we know ancient humanoids, weren't more intelligent than we think that they were? How do we know? How do we know? Can we study their brain matter? How do we know that their brain is actually what we think it was? Because our brain is basically multiple brains stacked on top of each other. How do we know that they didn't have like sophisticated little brains, even though that their skull was measured, shaped, or whatever? We don't know what their actual brain makeup and matter was because it isn't a fossil. We can measure and assume and speculate, but we don't know. Just like we don't know about the Big Bang. It's all skeptical like this. So I question things because it's not 100% proven. Is it likely that they were not as intelligent? Sure. But it is possible that their brain was different than ours, which could be smarter than ours. So I am so tired of all of this. I'm so, like, we've been dealing this. I just want to, do what I have to do to provide for the community. Do my share, pull my fair share of weight for the community. Going to work. I want to be able to afford a haircut. I want to afford to be able to go to a barber. I want to be able to afford to go to the movies if I want. I feel like it costs too much money to do anything, so I have to put all my resources to paying my bills. And it's frustrating, man. Like, we have to work. We all have to contribute. I am not for equality. I am for fair treatment. I am for equality when it comes to our rights. But there's so many people who have been indoctrinated. The same people who have been indoctrinated, who think that they're smarter than me because they went to college and they got a degree, are the same people who are telling me I have to pay for their student loan debts because they're not intelligent enough to figure out how to pay it off themselves. And it's like, dude, if you're going to do that, then I want free college too. Are you going to pay for my college? Oh, no. Oh, it's just for me. Because I made stupid choices. I didn't do the research. You're supposed to be smart. You couldn't do some research into student loans. I understand you're 18 and it sounds, oh, go to college. Yeah, I'm sure college is a fun experience. I mean, me, I don't learn that like they teach, so it probably wouldn't be that great of experience for me, other than like feeling a part of something like that, part of the school or whatever, like, socially. But I learn completely different than the way they teach because of my ADHD. And I don't want to be forced to learn something that I have no care or desire to learn at that point. Not to say that I won't later on gain interest, but I don't want to. If I am forced to learn something I don't want to learn, I will rebel. I won't put much effort in. I won't put much effort in because I'm just not interested. But whatever, man. I guess we'll see what happens. We can't take much more. We're tapped out. Maybe we need some type of reset. Don't know, man. Maybe they should give out 1,000-year mortgages, so we can have a little bit of time to kind of like recalibrate, see what happens with the AI. We need the prices lower, dude. That's what we basically need. We need lower prices so we can do shit again. So we can feel basically some security, so we can, we can't even date. And women don't want nothing to do with us now. So, I made a video talking about like the white pill, like you should, like, yeah, and I'm still on board with that. I'm not changing my mind. I think that it'll be more conservative, and the way I see women is like they're complete followers. And they will change. They will, just like at war, they're war brides. Like, guys could go in there and murder their husband, and they will go with the next guy. They will be a concubine. They'll be their wench, because they care about their own self-preservation and security. Soon that's going to be gone. We can't keep having all of these people on a free ride. If you want a free ride, then we're going to have to look like we're getting to the point where the only thing that you're going to be able to have is rice and beans if you're on welfare, because that's all we can afford, and you're going to be living in not a good environment. Is that what you guys want? We can't pay for this. We've already been robbed plenty. Unless we go start taking from other countries like Venezuela with all their oil or whatever. Maybe they owe us. I don't know. I don't care. That's where I'm at. I just don't care. Whatever the left wants to complain about, I really don't care. The only thing that I really agree with is the prices of everything, but they don't understand that how you gonna complain about the prices when you keep wanting this stupid thing, these stupid programs that don't serve anybody but a small portion of people. How is these people going to live it up like these Somalians while stealing from us, while we're doing the right things, and they don't have to work at all, and they're living like lavish lifestyles? How unsustainable is that? So that's it.